All right, guys, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. Hey, listen, I've got a great episode for you today. You have to bear with me, though. I have been going nonstop with the launch of our new Authority Media business and might be losing my voice a little bit. So with the help of my great rock star, I think I'll be back to the next level. Listen, I want to talk to you today about persistence. And the reason I want to talk to you about persistence is I think that is one of the biggest things that individuals need to focus their time and attention on. And it's one of those big difference makers. You know, Calvin Coolidge said, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan "Press On" has solved and always will solve the problem of the human race. I love that quote by Calvin Coolidge because here's the bottom line. For anything in life to work, it requires persistence. And I'll tell you right now, Napoleon Hill, and it's Think and Grow Rich, the book, and Napoleon Hill is something I go back to quite a bit on this podcast. But Napoleon Hill says the hidden guide, which is persistence, lets no one enjoy great achievement without passing the persistence test. And I got to tell you, Napoleon Hill does a phenomenal job in Think and Grow Rich. And being that it's one of the books that's the most acquired and read in human history, I think there's a lot of great lessons in that. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to kind of go through this topic of persistence by reading you some things right from Think and Grow Rich. Now, you may or may not have studied Think and Grow Rich or whatnot, but I go back to the book often because I've found that I can learn lessons from it every time, especially when you're, going back at different stages of your life. So this is a literal masterclass, this book. So I encourage you to take a few notes. I'm going to read some of these parts and highlight them for you this morning so you can take them into your day. Napoleon Hill says, no one enjoys great achievement without passing the persistence test. Those who can't take it simply do not make the grade. Those who can take it are bountifully rewarded for their persistence. They receive as their compensation whatever goal that they're pursuing. That is not all. They receive something infinitely more important than material compensation. The knowledge that, and listen to this carefully, quote, every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. He goes on to say, there are exceptions to this rule, because only a few people know from experience the soundness of persistence. They are the ones who have not accepted defeat as being anything more than temporary. So to develop persistence, he goes on to say there are 4 simple steps that will lead you to the habit of persistence. And that's what I wanted to highlight for you today. They call for no great amount of intelligence, no particular amount of education, but little time or effort. The necessary steps are these. Number 1, a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. This is really key. I want you to listen to this for a minute because it's hard to be persistent without that first step, a definite purpose backed by burning desire for its fulfillment. The second step is a definite plan expressed in continuous action. Expressed in continuous action. I'm going to go back to these in a second. Number 3, a mind closed tightly to all negative and discouraging influences, including negative suggestions of relatives, friends, and acquaintances. And number 4, a friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage one to follow through with both plan and purpose. Now, these 4 steps are essential for success in all walks of life. When one makes an impartial study of the prophets, philosophers, miracle men, and religious leaders of the past, one is drawn to the inevitable conclusion that persistence, concentration of effort, and a definite purpose were the major sources of their achievement. So I want to go back here and I just want to kind of highlight these 4 things for you because you might be dealing with stuff at work. You might be trying to struggle through some deadlines. You might have, issues or circumstances in your life. But in order to be persistent, it's not just a matter of sheer will. Like I've been there before with business where, you can push through. You can work hard, you can hustle, you can grind, and you can just push through. But what Napoleon Hill is saying here is that there's kind of a formula for you to have and develop this habit of persistence. And that's the part I really want to emphasize. Persistence is not something you just do. It's a habit you have to create. And so the persistence that you're going to create are going to happen through those 4 steps. The first step being a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. If you don't have a definite purpose, something that you are really passionate about, and you notice he also says in there a burning desire for its fulfillment, it's much easier for you to have a burning desire to go after something like a definite purpose if it's something that you're passionate about, if it's something that you're good at. So we talk about your unique talent. Are you working on something that can give you a definite purpose that you have a desire for? And so if you don't have that, persistence is going to be difficult for you. It's going to be a lot of sheer will and motivation, and that's not something that's long-term. So definite purpose backed by burning desire. Number 2, a definite plan expressed by continuous action. See, most people get the step, but they don't get the full step. Having a plan is key, but it's got to have continuous action, consistent action. So do you have a purpose backed by desire? Do you have a plan that's continually being worked on through action? And third, and this is the part I think a lot of people don't really put enough merit into, a mind close tightly to all negative and discouraging influences. What do you have in your surroundings? What do you have in your environment? Are you around individuals that are going to be conducive to helping to motivate you, or at least align with you with your definite purpose and plan? Because if you have a ton of negative influences around you, look, it's not about being around, when we say, sometimes you have to kind of exclude relatives or friends or family from your life. It's not because you don't care about it. It's because you have to stack the odds in your favor. You've got to find that environment that can keep you closed tightly against all negative and outside influences, because without that, it'll wear away at your persistence and your motivation. You've got to find a way to close that negative around you. And then the last area, which is why I started the mastermind, right? It's a friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you to follow through with your plan and purpose. It's a mastermind. Do you have a mastermind? Do you have an alliance with people that are aligned in a spirit of harmony with you, helping you to accomplish what you want? So I know these steps seem simple to you, but I want you to go back and think about these today. If you want to be persistent, because we've already established persistence is literally the difference maker. Without persistence, and I've found individuals that are very uneducated, unskilled, unfocused, but they're persistent and they will be successful. Whereas you could have the best product in the world, the best focus in the world, but if you're not persistent, it's not going to happen. So it is the key, but to do it, there are elements that are going to help you to be more persistent rather than just having to, sheer gut it out. And that is, you've got to have a purpose backed by desire. You've got to have a plan that's continually worked on. You got to eliminate the negativity, and you got to form alliances. You've got to have those surroundings and those individuals that align with you. If you'll do that, I promise you, your habit of persistence will grow and you will become persistent and unstoppable. And that's my message for today. So I hope you take that into the day. I hope there's something there that will help to inspire you, motivate you to keep going, and also give you some specific intent and some specific plans that you can use to go to the next level. So that's my message for today. Hey, do me a favor, hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, pretty much everywhere. Or hit the show notes. I've got my email address in there. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're up to. What can I do to help? And finally, it'd mean the world to me if you'd share the show. So do me a favor and send this episode out to a friend. Send it out to somebody. Help me spread the message, grow the show, and I'd really appreciate it. So that's the message. Have a great day. Look forward to talking with you more tomorrow.